The ballroom glittered like a crown. Chandeliers hung from the ceiling like constellations carved in glass. Gold reflected off every surface, plates, glasses, even the smiles. Waiters glided through the aisles, silent and efficient, balancing crystal flutes filled with French champagne. Every guest had a name that moved markets: senators, CEOs, heirs, investors, all drawn by one reason: the Sterling Group's annual partnership gala. And tonight's spotlight was on a woman they weren't sure they were ready to applaud. Soraya Wass, CEO of Voss Technologies, stood out not for her dress, though her white silk gown was flawless, but for her composure. She had built her company from nothing, engineered half the AI patents the industry now relied on, and outmaneuvered competitors twice her size. Her calm didn't feel like modesty, it felt like mastery. But power rooms hate reminders of merit. They prefer lineage. "Who invited her?" whispered a voice near the back. "She doesn't exactly fit the room." "Not her kind of wealth," another murmured. Polite chuckles followed, too soft to call insults, too sharp to ignore. The laughter faded when she turned. She didn't scowl, she didn't react. She smiled. That kind of quiet, surgical smile that makes arrogance lose its footing. And then came Isabella Sterling, descending the staircase like a magazine cover, green satin gown, diamond earrings, every step choreographed for attention. The crowd turned. Whispers carried her reputation ahead of her. Charles Sterling's sister, the Sterling Group's wild card, the family shadow that always wanted the light. She walked straight toward Soraya, holding a half-filled glass of red wine that seemed to move with her malice. "Ah, you must be the partner everyone's talking about," Isabella said, stopping just close enough for the scent of her perfume to dominate. "Depends who's talking," Soraya replied softly, unbothered. "My brother has bold taste," Isabella continued, swirling the glass. "Not everyone could blend in at events like these. Some of us don't blend in. We build the tables others sit at." The room inhaled. Isabella tilted her head, a predator studying something it couldn't quite read. Then with the faintest smirk, she lifted her glass and let it fall forward. The wine splashed across Soraya's shoulder, staining the silk like a wound. Gasps echoed. Someone dropped a fork. The violinist froze mid-bow. And then laughter. Small at first, then growing. The kind of laughter that feeds on safety in numbers. Nervous, cruel, self-protective. Isabella smiled wide, triumphant. "Oops," she said, her tone sugary. "Didn't see you there. You blend in so easily." The photographers caught it, the spill, the smirk, the silence. But what they didn't catch yet was the calculation in Soraya's eyes. She didn't flinch, didn't wipe the wine, didn't blink. Instead, she reached for her phone. The air inside the ballroom was thick, a mix of perfume, shock, and discomfort no one wanted to name. The laughter faded into whispers. Even the chandeliers seemed to hum quieter. Soraya's fingers moved calmly. She unlocked her phone, scrolled through a short list of contacts, and pressed one name. Her assistant answered instantly. "Yes, ma'am." "Proceed," she said. Just one word. Low, clear, and final. "Understood." The call ended. For a moment, nothing changed. The crowd resumed its chatter, the band tried to restart, and Isabella turned away, basking in her small victory. But then, a vibration. One phone, then another, then dozens. Executives began pulling out their devices, eyes narrowing as they read the alerts. Screens lit up like embers. Breaking news. Voss Technologies terminates $2.4 billion partnership with Sterling Group. Effective immediately. The words hit like a detonation. Conversations stopped mid-sentence. A waiter tripped, his tray clattering to the floor. Even Isabella turned, blinking in disbelief. "What is this?" she whispered. That can't be real." Across the room, Charles Sterling's phone buzzed violently. He glanced at the headline, went pale, and stormed toward Soraya. "Soraya, this has to be a mistake," he said. "We just signed the deal this morning." "Not a mistake," she replied. Her voice was soft, but unshakable. "Your legal team violated the integrity clause. You know what that means. You can't void a deal like this without board approval." "I don't need approval," she said, glancing at the sea of eyes now watching. "I wrote the clause." The room gasped again. Charles froze. realizing the power shift had already happened. And Isabella, suddenly very sober, took a half step back. The chandeliers reflected chaos now. Guests whispered behind napkins, some pretended to text, others refreshed financial dashboards. You could feel the market move through the room, panic disguised as disbelief. One headline became 2, then 10. Sterling Group faces crisis after sudden contract termination. Rumors of ethical breach surface amid deal fallout. Charles's voice cracked as he argued with invisible lawyers over the phone. Put out a statement. Tell them it's fake. I don't care what you say, just stop it. But the truth was already public. Every tweet, every article, every investor alert repeated the same words: withdrawal, breach, collapse. Isabella's lips trembled. You wouldn't dare destroy my family over a glass of wine. Soraya met her gaze, calm as ever. I didn't destroy anything. You did when you thought decency was optional. Her tone didn't rise, yet it carried across the entire ballroom. Every guest heard it. Every camera caught it. The music stopped again, but this time no one dared restart it. Soraya walked to the stage, her wet gown glimmering under the chandelier light like armor. She took the microphone, her reflection mirrored in every glass. When I entered this room, she began, I noticed something familiar, that strange arrogance that confuses wealth for worth. The room was silent. Even Isabella's breathing seemed loud. Class isn't about how you dress or what you can buy. It's about what you choose not to do, when no one can punish you for doing it. Eyes turned downward. Tonight, people laughed when they should have listened, mocked what they should have respected. But humiliation says more about the audience than the target. She paused, letting the silence build. I'm not angry. I'm grateful. Because this room just reminded me that success without respect is failure dressed in silk. The air shifted. Even those who had laughed earlier looked ashamed. Soraya placed the microphone down. The cameras clicked furiously, capturing history, not scandal. Then she turned and walked toward the exit. No guards moved. No one dared stop her. Her steps echoed like judgment. Outside, the cold night bit through the quiet. A black car waited at the curb. Her assistant stood ready, tablet in hand. Ma'am, he said, voice trembling slightly, Sterling stock dropped 12% in 15 minutes. The press is calling nonstop. Soraya didn't look surprised. She simply nodded. It'll fall further. Arrogance compounds faster than interest. Should we issue a statement? She looked out the window as the city lights blurred by. I already did. Inside the ballroom, panic had replaced champagne. Investors demanded answers, lawyers huddled in corners. Charles Sterling's voice broke as he shouted into his phone, trying to contain a tidal wave with his hands. By morning, the Sterling Group lost $480 million. By afternoon, their sponsors froze accounts. By nightfall, analysts called it the quietest corporate execution in history. The video of the spilled wine went viral overnight. 400 million views in 24 hours. News anchors replayed it like a modern parable. The calm woman, the cruel laughter, the quiet phone call. On live television, a journalist asked Soraya, how did it feel to humiliate the Sterlings so completely? She smiled faintly. I didn't humiliate anyone, she said. I reminded them of the hierarchy they forgot. And which hierarchy is that, he asked. The one where decency ranks above dollars. The quote echoed across the world. Universities printed it on lecture slides. Corporations engraved it on boardroom walls. And Voss Technologies' valuation tripled in 6 months. Isabella Sterling disappeared from the public eye. Charles resigned within the year. The empire crumbled not from attack, but from exposure. Months later, at the Global Leadership Forum, Soraya took the stage again. The world now listened when she spoke. She looked across the crowd, leaders, presidents, innovators, and said, silence isn't weakness. It's the fuse before truth explodes. The applause was thunderous, but her expression remained calm. She never basked in the noise. Because to Soraya Voss, this was never revenge, it was correction. And correction doesn't shout. It moves the world once, quietly, and lets the echo do the rest.